So where did you hear about me?
It's a long story. You know, I was searching online because I've been doing my podcast with Cape Verdean guys, but I want to step it up. I want to bring international guests, people from Africa. I always talk about African people, African stories and stuff. Because the idea, as I told you, behind this channel, this podcast, is to inspire and motivate others Africans to see that they can achieve greatness, they can dream, and they can unlock their dream, they can achieve their dreams. And I was searching online, and I found I came across to this magazine. I guess it's Topics, Tropics,
Tropics.
Tropics, yeah,
Tropics.
from
Yes,
Johannesburg
yes,
in South Africa.
yes,
And
yes,
you were nominated for one of the 1,500 most influential people from Africa by the magazine.
yes.
So I was checking. I saw your picture, and I went to Instagram to see who was that lady, And then I went to the internet. I got your website, the Bisap. Is that
Bisa
your
Cosmetics.
Bisaco Cosmetics? Yeah, I went to Bisaco Cosmetics. I started to check who were you, and why not, man? I got into it. I think I got connected from the beginning. Who was
Okay.
are you?
Fortunately, you could understand French, because I haven't put the English part yet.
You gotta do it. You have to
Yes,
work on it.
I know. Yes, I know. I'll do that.
So
Definitely.
Natalie, tell me, how do you feel by being nominated as one of the most influential Africans across the globe?
I feel honored. I'm very, very happy because I think it's a recognition of the work I have been doing for years. I feel very, very honored to be one of the most influential Africans in the world. This is a real recognition of the work I've been doing for years.
Why did you think they put your name in that list?
I think because I work for Africa, I work for Africans, and it's the important part of my work, and I think they saw that.
You let's start from the beginning. You
Okay.
took a degree on foreign languages and business management, I guess, and you travel across some European countries, and you went back to Cameroon because you are from Cameroon.
Yes.
And you was working in a bank. After 7 years from working at that bank, you quit, and you decide to start your own journey and create your own business. What made you by that time to take that decision and to take that step? Because it's hard to leave your comfort zone and to dive into the unknown. Walk us to that journey. Why you did that, and how was it? How was the experience of quitting your job and start something completely new?
Before quitting my job, I quit Europe, and this was a very, very big decision in my life to quit Europe. I had a good life with my husband and my kids, and I decided to leave that and to come back to Cameroon. Coming back to Cameroon, I didn't know what I would do, but I knew that I had to come back to Cameroon. That was the first decision. The decision to quit my job was conducted by the fact that I didn't like that job.
You wasn't happy?
No. Because I knew that I could do big things and in a field that I liked, but I didn't know which field to choose.
and how did
So
you
I
figure it out?
chose to do something I knew, and that my husband advised me years before.
So you had that advice years before that you should quit everything and start your own thing?
No, I had the advice to begin a business about hair.
Let me ask you this. When you was in Europe, what was happening that you wasn't happy back in Europe?
No. In Europe, I was happy, but I wasn't in my place. I wasn't where I had to be. Je pensais que en Afrique, je serais à ma place. Quand j'étais en Italie, j'étais bien, mais je n'étais pas à ma place. But before going to study in Europe, I knew that I wanted to come back here. I didn't have the idea to stay there forever.
You knew that one day you would come back to Cameroon?
Yes. Yes, that I would come back. Because I felt that my life was here in Cameroon.
This transition between quit your job in a bank and start your business, how was it? You wasn't afraid to jump?
I wasn't afraid to jump. I was more afraid to spend all my life, or to spend years and years working and doing something I didn't like. I was more afraid of that. So it was easy for me to jump.
It was the best thing of your life?
I think so.
But tell me, you are a natural hair advocate. You are a successful entrepreneur, and you found this Bisa cosmetic made in Cameroon, 100% natural. Why natural hair?
So my husband advised me to start a hair business because when I went back to natural hair, I was always trying new hairstyles. I was always trying new products that I made myself for me. I was watching videos on YouTube hours and hours. And he saw that, and he knew, he understood that I was passionate about that. That's why he gave me that advice.
So it was for you, it was easy to start it? It wasn't?
No. It wasn't easy. It's not easy. Even now, it's not easy. But I prefer to do something that is not easy, but that I like. I just wanted to say that yes, courage was very, very important for this decision, because if you don't have courage, you can't quit a job, a comfortable job. You have everything. You have l'assurance, les assurances, un salaire confortable. You leave that to jump, like you say.
How was your mind by that time that you decided, well, I have a good job, they pay me well, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I have to move on? How did that's crazy. How you was dealing with that?
No, even my friends were discouraging me to do that, because they were recording me that I was doing something, and I wasn't sure about the future. So they tried to discourage me, but I couldn't, because I thought, in 10 years, where would I want to be? And I knew that the answer was not in the bank.
Tell me this thing, Nathalie. Every time it happens with me, I guess it happened with you as well. When we are about to do something, to jump to the unknown, as you did it, we used to have this voice in our head that saying that, no, you shouldn't do it, and it's not secure to jump, to quit your job. You have a well-paid job, and you have a family that you have to provide for, but and go to start a new business, you doesn't know if it's going to be good, it's not good. It's, this voice in our head. How did you dealt with that voice by that time? How you face it?
I didn't listen to that voice, because that voice, no, the other voice that was telling me when I was in Italy that I had to go back was louder. It was the same voice that told me to quit the bank. It was stronger than the other voices. So I listened to that voice. I listened to that one.
And you jumped.
Yes.
And now when you...
But I jumped, excuse me, I jumped, I was still in the bank when I jumped. I was still in the bank.
You create your side business while you was in the bank.
Yes, because I wanted the business to start and then to leave my job.
That's something a little bit tough, because you have to work on your bank and you have to work in your business, so you don't have time for nothing. And you as a wife, you have a mother, a family that you have to take care. How was your days by that time?
Oof, it was I was very, very busy, because even when I had the lunch, I had to go to the salon. When I finished, I had to go to the salon. But I had my kids, and ils étaient petits. Mes enfants étaient petits. Donc, je devais aussi m'occuper de mes enfants. Mon mari était encore en Italie. Donc, ça pouvait aller, mais je devais m'occuper de mes enfants. So, the salon, I started the salon, but it was neglected. I can say that, a little bit neglected, because the priority was my kids.
It's something complicated, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But Nelly, tell me, you always had this connection with natural hair, or by the time you were studying in Europe, you got other different styles?
No, I wear my hair relaxed for 10 years. No, excuse me, for 20 years.
For 20 years?
And 20 years, yes.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I started to relax my hair. So my daughter was 4 years old, 4 or 5, I can't remember. When one day she came back, we were in Italy then. She came back home and said that she wanted to have the cheveux lisses.
Yeah.
Eh? You understand?
Yeah,
the cheveux lisses. Yes. So I was surprised, and I asked her, why do you want hair like that? Because you have beautiful hair. She looked at me and she said, but you have the same hair that I want. And I didn't even think, I was ashamed, because she was right. I have my hair relaxed And I was telling her that her hair was beautiful. So I started to think about that. And 3 weeks after that, I cut my hair.
You cut your hair?
Yes. It was very long, It was very long, but I decided to cut my hair and to wear it natural, just to show her that her hair was beautiful.
So from that day on, you never went back to relaxed hair?
No. Oh, no.
You believe that natural hair it's a identity question?
Yes, of course. It's an identity question because it's part of us. It's genetical.
This question, you said that by that time you used to have relaxed hair, and your little daughter told you that she wanted to have the same hair, but you was telling her that her hair was beautiful. We know that this question about African hair and natural hair sometimes shakes the self-acceptance and self-esteem. How do you see this thing?
I think that yes, it's the power of the media. Here in Africa, we everyone, the majority of the population is Black with hair like this. Even when the women wear wigs, a lot of them have natural hair. So it's not so difficult, because for people who live in Western countries, you see that in the media, when they want to say that the hair is, for the ads, when they want to say that the hair is not beautiful, they say that the hair is kinky. So if you see that, yes, if you see that every day, it's difficult. For the self-esteem, it's difficult. I can understand that it's difficult.
So a lot of women have this problem when they go to their jobs, or they go to jobs interview. They have to relax their hair, or if they come to the interview with a beautiful afro style, sometimes the interviewer gonna say, no, yeah, we kind of like you, but we think that your hair is too much. We think that, how can we fix this thing? How can we change this mindset?
I don't know if we can change that. We have to accept ourselves first. It's very, very important to accept ourselves. Je dois m'accepter moi-même avant d'attendre que d'autres personnes m'acceptent. If I go for a job interview and someone says that to me, I know what I will answer. My hair is my problem. I can't let someone else tell me what I have to wear on my head. It's my hair. I was born like that. Why should someone tell me something like that? Si une femme va chercher un travail et elle reçoit une réponse de ce genre, elle doit chercher un travail ailleurs.
In your point of view, you cannot accept when someone tells you what you should do with your hair.
No.
Wonderful. And what about the man? The African man, do they start to take care of their hair, or only the woman been doing this?
Non, ils n'ont pas beaucoup de problèmes, les hommes.
Let me ask you this question, Nathalie. When you decide to go natural, long time ago, did you ever had any problem when you was working in Europe and Italy? Did you had any problem with your hair, for example?
When I went back natural, I was not working. I was taking care of my kids at that time. But I didn't even think about what people could think about my hair. I took that decision, and it was my decision about my hair, about myself. I didn't care about the thoughts of someone else.
Nowadays, the natural hair, the Afro style, it's coming.
It's not only a question of fashion. I think a lot of African women are rediscovering their identity, and they want to wear their hair natural. They want to be themselves. I don't know if I can say that. Elles veulent être elles-mêmes. It's something trendy. I can't say je peux pas dire le contraire. Hein? It's trendy, but it's a good thing that it's trendy, because it gives the courage to those who don't dare to do that, to leave their hair natural, to do that. If it was not trendy, it would be more difficult for some people, for some women to do that.
Okay, now let's change the subject a little bit. You are a businesswoman, an entrepreneur. What do you think that should be done to improve the capacities of women in business?
Ce serait bien si beaucoup d'hommes encourageaient leurs femmes aussi. Les hommes devraient encourager leurs femmes, leurs sœurs, leurs amies femmes, donc à faire ce qu'elles aiment.
But you think that the African man doesn't do that? Or you should do it more?
Some African men do that, but it's not only about African men. It's men in general. Men in general, yes. Not only here in Africa. There are men that who don't encourage their women, their wives, their sisters to become business women. We see the society now. The society is led by men. Je vais le dire en français. La société est dirigée par les hommes. Alors, nous, on le sait, c'est dans le monde entier, la société est dirigée par les hommes. Donc, si ces hommes-là poussent les femmes et donnent certaines opportunités aux femmes, il y aura beaucoup plus de femmes entrepreneurs.
How did the Cameroon society take the businesswoman? How do your society see the businesswoman?
It's the same thing for the men, for the businessmen, and for the businesswomen, I think. I think that we have to deal with the same difficulties, I think.
Oh,
Men
yeah.
and women entrepreneurs here.
What is one of those main difficulties that you face every day to be an entrepreneur in Cameroon?
Alors, je vais citer une difficulté que nous rencontrons tous, c'est le fait, même si tu as besoin d'une information, une simple information, elle est difficile à avoir. Parce que le système est fait de telle sorte que l'information est là, mais la personne que tu rencontres en face de toi ne va pas forcément vouloir te la donner. Peut-être qu'elle veut avoir, comment dire, un peu d'argent.
You have to give a bribe. You have to pay for that.
Yes. Every day you see that. Even if you are a man or a woman entrepreneur, you will see that. That's a real difficulty, because sometimes it's something simple, but you need that information. How do you do? How can you do? There is someone that has the information, but that won't give you that information like that.
How you think that we can change that?
We can change that. It's a question of mentality. It's a question of mentality. The mentality is changing here, but it will take so many years. I'm starting something new in my business now, and it's the most difficult times I've seen from when I started. And yes, sometimes I have I want to cry. Sometimes I want to cry. It's so difficult. Mais je me rends compte, de toutes les façons, quand on dit il ne faut rien lâcher, c'est vrai, parce que même quand on rencontre la difficulté, on cherche la solution, même après 2, 3 semaines, 3 mois, et on finit par la trouver, la solution. Even if it was so difficult. You always find the solution, always. But it's difficult to live that difficult these times. Yes,
it's very stressful.
Time.
Very stressful.
Very stressful times. Yes.
And when you're not at your salon, when you're not working on your business, how is your life, Nathalie? Your daily routine, how is it?
Mm-hmm. My daily routine, I wake up at 6. I walk for an hour every day, or 5 times, au moins 5 fois par semaine, 5 times a week. Then I come back at home. I have my coffee, my breakfast, and then I go to work. And I work all day during the day. I come back home, and sometimes I watch the television, sometimes I read. And that's all.
What are you reading at this moment?
The last book, I'm reading 3 books in this moment. The last one I started is this one, Resilience.
Resilience.
Yes, Resilience. It's written by a friend of mine, a Cameroonian. She's Cameroonian, she lives in France. And it's about the difficulties, de la résilience. It's about the difficulties you have during your life, but that you have to, c'est-à-dire la capacité à dépasser les difficultés. Mais c'est un roman. It's a novel. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. And then I have this one, Paulo Coelho, La sorcière de Portobello. And the last one is Votre santé sans risque. That was it's a gift from my mother.
Are you liking that book?
Yes.
What is about this last book?
It's about advices to achieve good health.